Good morning and a happy Sunday. Your forecast for this afternoon will be very seasonal and summer-like, but of course, we are in hurricane season, and that means we do have yet another system to keep an eye on. Right now, this is Tropical Depression 2 that will likely become Tropical Storm Barry ahead of landfall within the next 24 hours. So you're not seeing a system that has much time or much space to strengthen over warm water in the southwestern Gulf here, almost as southwest as you can get along Mexico's coastline. We'll likely see those winds bump up just a bit. Right now they're at 35 miles an hour. You need 39 for tropical storm classification. And then the landfall will happen and this will quickly dissipate. So no concern by any means for a local impact, but you'll notice these sea surface temperatures are pretty significant in comparison to the southwestern Gulf up along our coastline, anywhere from about 3 to 4 degrees higher. But you'll notice on the satellite imagery, not super organized circulation. The storm is a bit of a mess, but the models are showcasing that landfall may be just a little bit further south, and then also starting to pick up on the possibility of another area to watch heading into the end of next week. And that would be a little bit closer to the Florida coastline. And that's because of the upper level low that's actually bringing our rain in the forecast for today and the next few days. If a surface low is able to develop and any coastal moisture becomes involved, there's a chance for some heightened rain along the Florida coastline. Once again, not going to be an issue here locally. So overall takeaways, we've got a very traditional forecast for heat and humidity this morning. This afternoon, you'll likely have those downpours for some brief relief from the heat, which keep us below heat advisory criteria. And then we'll continue with a similar forecast through the middle of the week until high pressure moves in, and we've got that ridge keeping us hotter and drier. Of course, this morning, a lot of tall clouds, and that's always a sign of summer. We've got blue skies, otherwise a beautiful view from the rooftop here at WWL. Temperatures continually in the low 80s and rising towards the mid 80s. I think most of us will probably get towards 90 a little bit later on and maybe top out briefly at 92 as a high. But overall, the rain chances look to be around 50%, so half of the viewing area will likely see rain at a point in time. On the North Shore, it feels like the 70s, so a little bit cooler than south of the lake as we continue with those low to mid 80s for the lakefront and Kenner. Off towards MSY, we've got the upper 70s otherwise down to the coastline, and a few more storms there, keeping everything slightly cooler. You'll notice some of these are packing a punch. We've got heavy rain in a short amount of time through Galliano up towards Cutoff, not far from Jean Lafitte. Same thing down towards Grand Island, Port Fourchon, if you may be starting out on the water this morning. So something to keep in mind, these fire up quickly, lots of lightning as well. You want to make sure you're very aware of the boating forecast. Otherwise, off towards Shell Beach and the eastern portion of the viewing area, similar heavy downpours and storms, all of which are going to move a little bit further inland in the afternoon time frame. So even the Mississippi Gulf Coast dealing with some of those heavy downpours near Bay St. Louis at the moment, and will continue with a similar outlook into the afternoon. For that reason, you'll notice these numbers are a little bit lower than we've seen over the last couple of days. We'll continue with those mid to low 80s into the next few hours here and likely stay away from the 90-degree mark in all locations, but some of us that don't have the rain will definitely top out between 90 and 92. So the overall precision cast is showcasing that cloud cover returning, and then the heaviest downpours in New Orleans proper, likely into the peak of daytime heating, which is traditionally between about 2 and 5 o'clock. As we approach the sunset time frame, though, most of this is going to start to clear out, and then we'll head back into the overnight period quiet until another round of storms fires up again Monday, basically copying and pasting your forecast for similar conditions. So overall, just the atmospheric setup in the upper levels showcases that low pressure system sliding a bit further south more than likely, and that's where we'll be watching for the possibility of some additional heightened rain chances on the coast. But the high pressure system is going to stay right over New Orleans as we approach the 4th of July. And that high is also rearing the storm down towards the southwestern Gulf into Mexico. So all of this working to steer our features. We'll be watching it as we approach the extended outlook. But that low pressure system closer to Florida could really bring a big boom for rainfall amounts along the Florida coastline, not only in the Panhandle, but then also throughout parts of Central Florida. So you could see somewhere between maybe 7 and 10 inches in a couple spots, and you'll notice, taking a moment for our data to load here, but the colors are corresponding. So we're definitely going to have a lot more rain setting up to the eastern side of New Orleans as we approach the extended outlook and next week. Your chances of rain right around 40% tomorrow and Tuesday. We'll bump them back up on Wednesday as that high pressure starts to make its presence known, though, by Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. We certainly watch our temperatures jump up a bit.